I'm Jeff Cornwall, and this is the Entrepreneurial Mind. Today, my guest is Eric Satz with Tennessee Community Venture Funds. I'll be back to talk with Eric after this word from our sponsor.
If you want to feel the wind blowing through your hair and see the great city of Nashville at the same time, check out Nashville Scooter Tours. Trekking through the downtown streets to Music Row with Nashville Scooter Tours is safe, eco-friendly, and a whole lot of fun. They use Xenon electric scooters that go 55 miles on a single charge. Find out more by calling 615-290-5563 or book your reservation today at NashvilleScooterTours.com.
Welcome back. Today we're talking with Eric Satz with Tennessee Community Venture. Talk a little bit about the fund's history and sort of where it has come from and the portfolio you built up in the fund.
Sure. So TNCV is one of the 10 Invescos.
Right.
So we were formed back, I guess it was January 2010. We're ending our 4th year this year. We've built a portfolio of, I believe it's 7 companies. We have been the first investor in, I think at least 4 of those. And then probably part of the first institutional round of investors in the other 3. I think that's correct. So
that's a pretty aggressive stance for.
Well, it's what we agreed to do when we
Right.
signed up for the 10 Invesco program.
Right.
We invest early. We take an active role.
Right.
We're not passive by any stretch of the imagination. We're all my partners and I are all former entrepreneurs ourselves.
Right.
And, so we try to be available to coach and assist and offer our opinions, when we think required.
So what were you looking for in some of those first couple investments? What kind of firm were you looking at? And every group has sort of their sweet spot that they favor.
Yeah, everything that every other group doesn't like, they send to us. So we're almost,
so you get the Vietnamese restaurants and.
I love Vietnamese food. I'm a big ethnic food fan, so that's all good. But no, I'm not investing
Right,
in food
right,
or restaurants.
Right.
Non-healthcare focused.
Okay.
And we have never set out to say that we want to invest in this sector, this industry, this type of technology. What we have done from the very beginning is say we want to identify entrepreneurs that we believe in and entrepreneurs who, with their passion and their own beliefs, are attacking big market opportunities.
So are a lot of these folks people you've known before from past lives and other deals?
In some cases, I've known them before, but in most cases, no.
Okay.
So it's just, do you build a rapport with the person? Is this someone that we think we can work with? Is this someone who is determined enough, but yet flexible enough in their thinking to make changes as the world dictates? Because I think it's no surprise that most people understand that the original idea is rarely the ultimate business.
Right.
And so you've got to be able to, juggle.
Right. Talk a little bit about some of the companies in your portfolio. What are some of those? What are some of the firms doing? Sure.
So why don't I just go in order of investment?
All right.
That way nobody can say I'm favoring.
Plain favorites.
Right.
So because you love all your children the same.
Not always, no.
Oh, okay.
So it depends on the week and month. So the first company we invested in is a company called New Search Sciences.
Okay.
And I invested in a doctor out of the University of Tennessee, Dr. Zemmel, who is a PhD in nutrition. and he has built a portfolio of IP around, I'm just going to describe it as our metabolic system.
Okay.
And we are attacking two areas. One is weight loss, which everybody understands to be a big market. But the other more important area for us, and the one that we are now going down a pharma route on, is type 2 diabetes.
Diabetes, yep.
Right. So, unfortunately, a very large market.
Right.
And Dr. Zemmel is, he's a fantastic person to work with. He has generated IP in the past, and he had what I would describe to be an unfortunate experience in his commercialization efforts early on, and decided he didn't want to make that same mistake twice. And so he sought external capital and resources, and we helped bring that to him.
And how's that company doing?
Doing great. So we've been awarded 2 of our first 3 patents, and we have completed, I want to say 2 animal studies, 1 human study, and we have a 3rd study that's in process right now. We don't run the studies.
Right.
Vanderbilt, in one case, Vanderbilt ran the study. The study that's underway right now is at Georgia State. I think that's correct. But in any event, the early results of this second study are even beyond what our expectations were.
Now, he wasn't in Nashville at the time?
He's in Knoxville. He's still in Knoxville.
And he's still, so you're not requiring the companies to come move?
Well, actually, as we added human resources, we added a CEO, and the headquarters is here, but all the research takes place in Knoxville.
Because that's where his infrastructure is.
That's where his infrastructure is.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Second child?
So, the early stage investment world is a roller coaster, not only for the entrepreneur, but for the investor.
Oh, especially for the investor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that's what we do. The second investment was actually a company called Pro Player Connect, which is now called Overdog. And in between Pro Player Connect and Overdog is a new management team, entirely new management team. And Overdog is now a platform which connects professional athletes with their fans to play video games online. So Xbox and PlayStation.
I don't have to ask where the revenue stream is for that. That's,
no, it's
yeah.
we think it's so we've been in a what I would call a soft launch, because you can't beta launch on iOS.
Right.
You have to launch, which we've done, and I believe we're actually submitting version 2 of the app to Apple sometime today, and then hopefully 8 days later, we'll have our approval, and we will do our real public launch. But in the meantime, we have signed agreements with the NFL Players Association, I believe also with the NBPA, which is the National Basketball Players Association.
Right.
We have the MLS, the MLBPA. I think we even have UFC and WWE for all the
wrestling fans out there.
For the wrestling fans out
so
there.
It sounds like you may be on the verge for 2 for 2 so far.
These are very early days,
right?
So anything can happen, and
but they're headed in the right direction.
I think we are headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
I think the third company was Cyber Physical Systems,
Right.
which most people around Nashville at least have understood as split second,
Right.
which is auto crash notification. So
Yep.
it's, if you're a poet, you say it's OnStar for any car.
Right.
So
That came out of Jumpstart, didn't it?
It did come out of Jumpstart.
In the first year, I think.
Yes.
First or second year.
And
yeah.
it was the first company out of Jumpstart to actually receive outside funding.
Yep.
So, and that, 2 Vanderbilt grads.
Right. I remember them pitching.
And they did a great job, and we have now brought in some senior wisdom, I would say. Someone who came out of Asurian
Right.
to lead the effort now.
Right.
And I think this is I feel good about this one too.
We only have a short bit of time left.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about where you see your firm headed. You've kind of started with this this money that came from the state program, and it sounds like you're having some success and having some fun.
I'm certainly having fun.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're having success, we're not going to know for a few more years. And it's sort of rare for me to agree to do this, but I did it because of you, actually.
Thank you.
I don't talk to newspapers very much, and a large part of that has to do with the 10 Invesco program and all the noise that has surrounded it.
Right.
But the mandate was to invest in early stage companies and seed entrepreneurs and help expand the industry in Nashville. And that's what we've done. The trouble with that from a communications perspective, from a messaging perspective to the public, is that you can't point to any big wins
Right.
in a short period of time.
Right.
The Instagrams of the world are very rare.
I hate them.
Yeah, no,
hate 'em.
yeah. So
It completely it skews everybody's perceptions.
it
Yeah.
does, because that's not building a business.
No,
that's
that's
not
winning the
entrepreneur.
lottery.
That's winning the lottery.
Right.
And do you read Fred Wilson at all?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so shortly after that, Fred put out one of his blog posts which talked about why be an entrepreneur, and I'm going to say by extension why be an investor.
Right.
And I forwarded that to all the entrepreneurs that I work with, and the reason I invested with them was not for Instagram type quick hits.
Right.
It's because I believed in them and I believed in their passion for what it was they're doing. And that's something that matures over time. The economic success happens over time.
One of the things in watching you from afar that I've appreciated is that you have taken that patient, really community focus in terms of you really are trying to build some sustainable businesses that are going to help create some jobs around here.
We're trying, and
that's not true with every equity investment house. So
I can only focus
hats
on
off.
what we do.
Hats off to you guys.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you coming in, Eric, and
Thanks for having me.
And appreciate your sharing your story.
My pleasure.
Thanks.